What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. In this video, we're going to be talking about the upcoming Sugofest, Luffy Tower, and Zoro, and Soba Mask. We're going to be talking about the Sugofest as a whole now. We have all the information regarding the actual banner, the steps, the raid boosted characters, and also given the actual limited pool characters, which was something that a lot of people were interested in, because on the JP side of the game, when this Sugofest came out, the limited pool legends was pretty bad. Like, honestly, the pool of characters available in the limited pool was absolutely horrendous. So just as a quick refresher, this was actually what the Sugofest looked like on Japan. Now, a little bit different from JP is they actually had a 3-part Sugofest. On Global, they've basically cut out part 1, and they've only got part 2 and part 3. So it's a little bit weird. I don't really understand why they decided to do that, because on part 1, both Luffy and Zoro and Soba Mask were available at the same rate. They were both boosted there. But then on part 2, you have a higher chance of getting Luffy Zoro, and on part 3, you have a higher chance of getting Soba Mask. So they've basically just cut out the first part, which I think for a lot of people is a little bit of a downside, because I think that if people didn't know what part they really wanted to pull on, or if a lot of the parts seemed very similar, they could just go for part 1, because both Luffy and Zoro and Soba Mask are all there. Unfortunately, they've cut out that part, but what they've basically done here is, if you have a look at these limited pools, look how crazy this limited pool is. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 characters in their limited pool is stupid. Absolutely stupid. And I believe that's the same all throughout as well. So 20 characters in the limited pool. And look, you could go to the 12th, the 15th, the 18th, the 21st, 23rd, 25th multis. Imagine doing all those multis and like getting characters like this, like Lucy, who is good still, but it's definitely not ideal considering you got some of these other characters at the top, like V1 Bato, Corazon. Like, Corazon is good, but you know, you don't really want to pull him on the 23rd multi, or V1 Blackbeard, V2 Boa, you know what I mean? Like, these limited pools were absolutely horrendous. So looking at the global side of things instead, let's go ahead and talk about what they've done in this Sugofest that compares and contrasts from the Japanese side of things, and we'll kind of just ultimately decide, is it worth pulling or not? Because we already know what's coming up. You know, we've got a good Sugofest on the way. This is still going to be a very good Sugofest, but it really does come down to what you already have on your account, because if you've already got some good stuff, it might not even be worth doing summons on this particular banner. Let's talk about it. So 2.5 times legend rate, that's pretty dope. Limit break expansion is going to be available for the new legends, being Luffy, Zoro, and also Soba Mask, so you can limit break expand them on their debut. Part 1 and part 2, so they're going to be here until June 5th. This is a pretty long ass Sugofest. God damn. It's going to be here for like a week and a half. That is crazy. So, of course, the structure is 30 gems for the first multi. 3rd, 6th, and 8th multi is just a guaranteed legend. Now, this is something I do like a little bit on JP, because I feel like they had more limited pool spots, but we'll talk about that in a sec. The 5th multi is a guaranteed Wano character. It's actually put up here in much greater detail. So this is like the limited pool character that you can get on the 5th multi. So it does include every Wano legend that's been released so far, but it does include every Wano rare recruit that has released so far as well. So it does include their 4-star and 4 and 5-star artworks, of course, for the generic rare recruits. So obviously it's going to be a pretty high chance to get those characters, but if you get a red, it's guaranteed to be Soba Mask, Luffy, Zoro, Komurasaki, Nami, or Kaido. Now, something I also want to say as well is that just because with this particular part where Luffy, Zoro is here, and then the next part Soba Mask is boosted there, it doesn't mean you can't pull either one of them on the other banner. It's just their rates will be much higher on their given banner, because I know I've got a couple of questions about that, so hopefully you guys understand that yes, you can pull either one of them on either part. It's just on their given part they have a much higher chance. What else is next? The 10th multi is a max special level legend. 13-17 is a guaranteed limited pool legend, and the 21st and 25th and 28th is a also limited pool legend with max special. And of course, 30th multi for Luffy Zoro, or 30th multi for Soba Mask, depending on which part you decided to summon for. Here we get to the juicy part. So let's talk about the Luffy Zoro banner first. Now, on this particular banner, Luffy and Zoro is pullable in their 5-star and their 6-star artwork form. So I'm not really a big fan of being able to summon characters in their 6-star artworks, because sometimes it's nice to have an unevolved copy of the character. But there you go. You are able to pull Luffy and Zoro as a 5 or a 6 star. But then on top of that, you've got Komurasaki, who isn't a top tier legend. She's decent, but not top tier. V2 Ace or Halloween Ace, also very, very good. Not really top tier, but very good. Kaido is a very powerful legend to get a hold of. Sabo and Koala, one of the best legends in the game. Cracker, one of the best subs in the game. Bato and Cavendish, they don't see that much play nowadays, but they are still extremely powerful. They are better than like Komurasaki and V2 Ace in my personal opinion. Sanji and Judge, one of my favorite legends in the game. I think they're extremely powerful, extremely underrated in my opinion. They are one of the best legends in the game as well. Whitebeard V2, meaning Quick Whitebeard, also one of the better legends in the game. Whitebeard and Marco, they don't see that much play now, but are still pretty decent. Brook is also here, who's trash. Garp is getting a 6+ on JP, so we'll have to see how good he gets from that. But most people who are going to be going kind of hard on this Sugofest probably already have Garp, and then V2 Akainu is also boosted. So I think the main ones that you'd want to be chasing for, obviously Luffy and Zoro, who's debuting. V2 Ace, I'd say, is sort of up there, but not as good as Luffy, Zoro, or Kaido, for example. Sabo and Koala, Cracker, Sanji and Judge. Those are the ones you'd want to be getting. Sanji, Judge, Cracker, Sabo, Koala, Kaido, and Luffy and Zoro. Those are like the good ones. And if you already have Kaido, Ace, Cracker, Sabo, Koala, Sanji, Judge, at that point, it's like, do you even need a summon on this particular part? And I would say, if you have those ones that I listed, you probably don't need a summon here. So let's talk about the next part. So part 2 is going to be the one with Sober Mask. V3 Sanji, as I said before, is pulled in a 5-star and 6-star artwork. Now, you also have V2 Nami, who is a very good sub. She has a great support ability that can actually attach to Sober Mask as well, so that's a thing. Then you've got V3 Aokiji, which honestly won't be seeing that much play at this current point in time, but he is very good for the upcoming Pirate Festival PvP mode that will be coming in the future. He's very, very good for that, so for that particular reason, that's why I'm choosing to summon on part 2, because obviously I want to get my hands on Sober Mask. I don't have V3 Aokiji, so that's the one I'm going to be personally going for, but yeah, let's move on. Kaido's also boosted on this part as well, which is kind of crazy. Shirahoshi Mancherry's here. V2 Big Mom. Luffy and Law. Luffy and Law is so good. Carrot. V2 Katakuri. Capone. Jinbei. I believe that's Jinbei V2. Robin. And also V2 Aokiji. So which are the big hitters here? So obviously the new Sober Mask, one of the best legends in the entire game. V3 Aokiji, I would say, is up there, but he's on a similar tier to V2 Ace. Like, he's really good, but he's not in that, like, top echelon of characters. But when PvP rolls around, this V3 Aokiji is going to be kicking ass. Kaido, as well, as we said before, one of the better legends to get. Shirahoshi Mancherry is really good. I don't really know if I'd say that's worth chasing, but look, Shirahoshi Mancherry is a pretty good character. V2 Big Mom is one of the best subs in the game, especially in Kizuna Clash. Very nice to have. Luffy and Law, of course, one of the best legends in the game. Carrot is nice to have, but I don't know if I'd say she's one of the best legends in the game. She's just nice to have. V2 Katakuri is also really nice to have as well, especially for high difficult content. Capone, not so much. Jinbei, not so much. Not Robin, no. And V2 Aokiji, he's cool, but no. So for this one, Sober Mask, V3 Aokiji, maybe. Kaido, Luffy, Law. Maybe Carrot, maybe. Like, there's lots of maybes, but like the big hitters, I'd say Sober Mask, Kaido, and Luffy and Law. I don't know, guys. It really depends, because it's kind of weird when you really think about it, because I would have thought that they would have boosted Douglas Bullet here somewhere. No Douglas Bullet is boosted, but in terms of the other big hitter legends like V1 Snake Man, or like Quick Gear 4 that super evolves into Snake Man, he's not boosted on either of these parts either. Most people would have him at this point, but for those who don't have him, he is definitely one of the best legends in the game and to get a hold of, and he's not boosted either. So how many legends do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 characters for the limited pool, comparing from JP, which we saw was 20 characters in their limited pool. But because we have one less part, it means that a lot of the other legends that should have been boosted are not boosted. There's no Bullet, no Cat Dog boosted. Who else is really good that's not boosted here? Everyone seems to be accounted for. Stampede Luffy, Jack is not boosted. Would have been nice if Jack was boosted for those people that need him. So yeah, Jack, Stampede Luffy, and Bullet, those 3 characters not being boosted, I'd say is a pretty big deal. But look, there's nothing we can do about it, and it is what it is. But I would say, if you already have characters like Douglas Bullet, Snake Man, and some of the other high tier boosted units that are already here, I would say it's not even worth summoning on this particular banner. And at this point, just looking at it at a standpoint right now, I do think part 1 is a better part in terms of the boosted legends, because with this one, Luffy and Zoro are very nice to have. This is nice, 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 this is also nice. But with this one, you got a lot of like really good subs, like Shiroshi Mancherry, V2 Big Mom. Carrot is good, but can't beat everything. V2 Katakuri, also really good sub for high difficulty content. So I do think part 1 is the better part. And I'd say if you're missing a lot of the characters in here, then yes, you should be probably spending a lot of gems in this Sugofest. But as I said, if you're missing characters like, if you're only missing like a couple of characters, like the new batch, obviously, maybe you don't want to go too hard. I think getting the new rare recruits in this batch, such as, where is it? Yeah, the new Wano rare recruit Usopp, the Carrot, the Frankie, like these new characters are so freaking good. Specifically this Usopp. If you don't have this Usopp, I would probably keep summoning until you get him, especially if you're one of those people that likes to spend a lot of money in the game. But if you are more of a free-to-play player, it really comes down to what you're missing. And if you already have some of those top-tier legends like Sabo Koala, Luffy Law, Douglas Bullet, Kaido, Sanji Judge, if you've already got those characters, I would contemplate either minimizing the amount of summons you're doing here, or just completely skipping this banner overall. But I don't really recommend skipping the banner overall just because of this Usopp. This Usopp is ridiculous and is going to be helping you out for a long time. And there are like a couple of other really good characters here as well. Like if you didn't get Hold'em, if you didn't get Jack, if you didn't get the Okiku's very, or this Otama specifically, this Otama and this Hold'em I'd say are so good. If you don't have either of these two, you should probably summon. There's a lot of good characters here, but it really depends on what you're missing. And I feel like if you already have a lot, you should probably contemplate not spending as many as what you were originally thinking. But hopefully this guys helps you out. Hopefully you understand a little bit as to what you should be thinking about moving into this Sugofest. And you should really be playing smart here, because there are a lot of good Sugofests coming down the line. We've got Shanks' crew, we've got the new Snake Man, we've got the new Eustace Kid that just got announced yesterday on JP, and he is phenomenal. There's lots of good legends coming out, and I think that saving up to 20 multis to get one of those guaranteed legends, I think is completely worth it, especially for Snake Man, considering how good he is. So that is what it is. That's my personal opinion looking at this Sugofest at a standpoint right now. Hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from, and you guys understand what I'm trying to convey here. So make sure to be very smart about using your rainbow gems for this upcoming Sugofest. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today, and if you guys did, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.